Welcome to Be the Consultant's immigration news for the week. This is where I will cover some of the more important immigration news that has happened in the week, and we will get started today, as today will be the first episode of this, guys. It is October 27. So the Canadian airports have seen an increase in asylum seekers applications, and there's a lot of reasonings for that, and a couple of them I've already covered on my TikTok channel, but we will cover them here. And one of the bigger reasons for that is that the Roxham Road, which was a way for many migrants to enter into Canada to seek asylum through US, was closed. And this was closed because Justin Trudeau and President Joe Biden closed down the Roxham Road and expanded the Safe Third Country Agreement. So that what a Safe Third Country Agreement was basically that if you land in either of those countries, Canada or US, then you have to seek asylum in that country unless you fall under the exemption. So for example, if you first landed in US and then you come to Canada and try to seek asylum and you don't fall under the exemption, then you would have to go back to US and seek asylum there. The asylum seekers did not want to claim in US because many of them claimed that US was not actually a safe country and that the asylum seeker process was long and unfair and unjust, and many people were not getting the asylum that they needed. Now, a lot of critics have also stated the same thing, stating that US is not really a safe third country for them. So by expanding this, many of the migrants can no longer enter into Canada through those unofficial routes, and they're now being stopped and sent back to US before they can enter into Canada. However, this leads to a bigger problem. This is something I covered on my TikTok, is that this is now leading the migrants or asylum seekers to go through much more dangerous channels to get to Canada. And this includes also dealings with criminals and human smugglers who will put their lives in danger. And not only that, there are also very dangerous routes that people are willing to go through to get to Canada, because many asylum seekers are very desperate in need of getting safety, and they feel that US might not be that place for them or will not offer safety for them. Another reason why we are seeing a rise in asylum seekers is that the Canadian government has basically made it the visa requirements easier, as they believe that Canada has become a unattractive place for many tourists and business leaders, and basically for anyone to immigrate to, as we do have very hard and long immigration process. So they lowered the requirements so they would attract more tourists and those who want to come and visit Canada, as they believe this will make Canada a more attractive place for the immigrants to come to. Now, but what I mean by immigrants, I also mean the temporary visitors or temporary workers, that they all fall under the spectrum of immigrating to Canada, whether it's permanently or temporarily. So this obviously leads to a lot more people gaining the visa to come to Canada, and once they reach to Canada, they seek asylum as they are trying to seek safety in Canada. On to other news. A 41-year-old Canadian man is being charged under the Immigration Refugee Protection Act as misrepresentation and is fined $20,000 for falsifying information and bringing a woman as a nanny to Canada to work for him when there was indeed no job, and she paid about $40,000 Canadian. Now, the Crown and the defendant have agreed that he would pay a fine of $20,000. However, the story does go further on, as his brother is also being investigated, who is an immigration consultant as well. Now, I've stated this a lot before on my TikTok channel, but unfortunately, the bad apples in each industry will make a lot of other people look bad as well, and it's very disappointing to see that people will take advantage of other people, and this is what they represent as immigration consultants. As some of you may know, immigration consultants are not always highlighted the best way in news because the bad apples are mostly highlighted. The last major immigration news of the week is that the visa processing time for India has slowed down, and this is because India has asked Canada to remove a majority of their diplomats, and about 41 diplomats so far have been removed. This also includes IRCC employees, and about 27 of them have already left, and only 5 of them are remaining. The Honorable Minister Mark Miller has stated that this will be temporary and soon enough it will pick back up, as many of the processings are actually outside of India, as many of the VAC offices are located outside of India rather than being inside, so the processing time should not be delayed for too long. But either way, it will make an impact in the visa process. Guys, that is it for immigration news this week. I hope that was informative. Now, I did want to bring your attention to something, as it is October 26th and October 31st is coming up. On my Stan store, I am having a bit of a sale. Well, not a little bit of sale, more than a little bit. I am having a sale on my consultation, one-on-one consultation that are 50 minutes. Usually they're $25, but now I have put them down to 17 Canadian dollars. And also my additional documents for study permit has also been added up there last week, but we are starting it off with a half off discounts. It's usually $65, but until October 31st, it will be $32.50. Now, the additional documents are just additional documents. They're not going to replace the documents that IRCC does ask of you, and those documents are actually not on the list. They're not included, as they are mandatory. This is the additional documents that you will need if it is applicable to you. So if you guys are interested, this is something you think you will need for your study permit, make sure you go and check out the Stan store and check out the sale, because the prices will go up November 1st. And if you guys are interested on a one-on-one, I will be more than happy to assist. Again, that consultation is going up to $25 as of November 1st. The links will be below. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will be back for more next week.